I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Black Wealth Renaissance Podcast. Your boy David Bellard, along with my co-host Jalen Clark, checking in. Jalen, how you doing, bro?
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Jalen, man. I'm feeling good. I'm very comfortable.
Man,
I feel moisturized. I got goat milk cream on my hand.
Yeah, man, we in one of the most pressure locations I've ever been to, man.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, this is what's up. As y'all can see, once again, y'all, we got another special guest on the podcast today. We are at this lavish studio. Let me say it correctly. The lady to my right here, she is a brand consultant and like top tier graphic designer working out with billion-dollar corporations, million-dollar brands, top companies. And she out here killing the game. She has one of the most exclusive co-working spaces in Dallas. It got the Louisiana theme. Y'all know we from the boot. So
so you gotta represent.
We got mad love for it. Miss Cimone Key. Cimone, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you so
for
much
coming on.
Yeah, coming on.
Once again, I definitely do love this place. I love your attention to detail with this place. I was even checking out like the wallpaper. You had the triangles and pyramids matching.
I was like, look. My fiance did that. It just kind of messed up, but
but no, it still looked good though. Like the attention to detail is really nice. So I really enjoy it.
Yes. So Cimone, we want to just get started, right? Like how we always do. So we want to ask you, how did you get your start in this world of design as this creativepreneur, as you describe yourself?
So I got started. So I went to the Art Institute of Dallas. I got my bachelor's degree in graphic design. And so I went there full time, went there for about 3 years. I finished in 3 years instead of 4 for my full time. I also went into an advertising agency for about 3.5 years. So I went to 3 different advertising agencies, the top agencies in Dallas, working on like AT&T and Udi's and USA, Chevrolet. And so that's how I got my start, just like learning the ins and outs of branding a corporation such as, like I said, Chevy and Udi's and all that. And then I got fired. I'm really transparent about that because people think that you just like have this business and everything is just perfect. But it's not. Like if people see me now, they wouldn't expect that I got fired. I'm a real big believer in God, my faith. And so I actually prayed to God that morning and asked him, like, what do you want me to do next? Since I was 16, I always wanted to have my own business. I just wanted to learn the ins and outs. And so, like I said, I prayed to God that morning, told him, like, what do you want me to do? And then that when I walked in, I told the only Black girl that was in there, it's only a couple of us in the advertising agency. I told her that I feel like I'm about to get fired. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, like that's exactly
what you mean?
That's exactly her face. And she's like,
oh, God spoke to you. He let you know, right? Get ready.
Yeah, she's like, girl, nah, what you talking about? And so 2:00 that evening, I get an email from my supervisor telling me that he wanted to speak to me. So I went into his office. We walked down this hallway and went into a room. And he basically was like, well, you see who's in this room right now, then you already know what's about to happen. And I was thinking in my head, no, I don't know who this is. And she was like, I'm HR and you're about to be terminated.
Yeah.
And I was like, for what? Is there a reason why? Do y'all at least, like, if I was doing a horrible job, do y'all at least demote somebody? Because I was an art director at the time. And they was like, no, we don't do demoting. And they didn't really have a really good excuse of why they were firing me. And so I was like, okay, well, that's just God just pushing me out there. I was 24 years old, just starting my business. So the next day I looked up how to start a business like LLC, applied for that. I bought a monitor with the little money that I had that I saved up. And yeah, ever since I just started working on my business. I would say that during that time, everything was basically in God's plan because once I got fired, like I said, I got my LLC, I bought a monitor computer, and then I had to actually move into my mom's house. I saved up money for my business, but I didn't want to use my business money. So I actually moved into my mom's house. My lease ended right at the same time my mom's house completed. She was getting her house built. So it just all lined up. And then I went back to school and received my web design certificate, because a lot of people feel like web design and graphic design was the same. Like every time someone would come to me for graphic design, they was like, do you build websites? And I'm like, no. Like, I don't know why people think that graphic designers build websites.
I guess because graphic designers, like, they make everything look good.
A lot
so
of people think because it's in the digital realm that they probably do that as well.
Okay. So I just went back to school so I can have different services for my clients. Cause like I said, I always knew that I wanted to start my own agency. It just, I just knew I had to learn the ins and outs. And I think I told y'all before, but when I was 16 years old, my dad told me that don't let anybody tell you how much you're worth an hour. And so that really stuck with me. And that's when I wanted to become an entrepreneur, because I seen how much freedom he had, and just that advice that he gave me. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna start my own business. I just need to learn what it takes to start a business, what the ins and outs, how to speak to a client, send invoices, estimates, etc. So so 5.5 years later, I got my own business. Like you said, I've been working with Amazon, Sally Beauty, the city of Dallas, Capital One, Boys and Girls Club.
Pressure.
And I knew I was going in the right direction, because that all happened within the first year. I got the Sally Beauty contract. I worked with the city of Dallas, Boys and Girls Club. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I could do this. Like, I'm making way more than what was I making at the time? 45,000. So yeah.
Giving all your time and efforts to them, and now
can't let them determine your work with an hourly rate. I love it.
Exactly.
So that's a beautiful story. I got so much. I really
I want to get into a few things.
It's good, because like I feel like everybody, they need to get the whole story, like they get the perspective. But I want to go back to the beginning in there, whenever you're talking about getting those jobs right out of school, right? So like designers, I know a lot of designers, and they kind of like, they get caught in the trap of like, doing like the freelancer type thing, where they just working for themselves and doing like the one-offs. How did you like navigate that space? Like, how did you position yourself to get these positions with these corporations? Because like I see too many designers, they go the freelancer route versus going like the corporate route.
Yeah, so I was a freelancer at the time. It's just the way I built my portfolio on like my website portfolio, it looked like a whole agency, which I was straight up about it. Like, I'm the only one doing this, like designer on the team. But they saw my work, they saw my background, who I worked for, who I worked with. They just was like, man, it seemed like you've been in business for like 10 years, and it was only my first year in business. So they trusted me with their brand. Like I said, the city of Dallas, Sally Beauty, they just, like I said, they saw who I've worked with, my work. So what I would give, the advice that I would give people is just, when you are on the internet, doing social media, websites, anything like that, it needs to look professional as possible. Have your resume up there, have a professional headshot, have a .com and not .wix or .squarespace. Like, it needs to be consistent. It needs to be professional. So that would be my main key asset. That's the reason why I was able to work with those corporate clients like that first year.
So, and after you, kind of before that, like whenever you decided to go back to school and get the web design, you talked about those two being different. Can you tell us what are the differences with that, and how was getting your web design certificate advantageous for you?
So graphic design deals with the overall branding of your business. So what I mean by branding, because some people don't even know what branding means. I have to, my lingo.
Break it all the way down.
Make it plain.
So graphic designers, they build your brand. So anything, like I was saying earlier, like the smell, taste, touch, and hear, you have to think about the first impression. So what is your business identity? So the actual logo. So that's what graphic designers design, like the actual symbol, the actual name of your business. We design that. And then we go a little further. Say, for instance, you need stationery pieces. So stationery pieces is business cards, letterheads, flyers, things of that nature to advertise your business. So that's what graphic designers do. We help you advertise your business. We help you with your identity. We help you even with your brand voice. Do you want to be flirty? Do you want to be more corporate? Do you want to be grungy? Or I don't know, whatever the case may be. We help you build your brand. And one of the key notes that I usually tell people is to create a style guide. Ask your graphic designer to create a style guide. So the style guide, it entails your overall identity. So the colors that you use, the specific colors that you use, the fonts that you use, the voice that you use, the drawings or icons that you use, you have to be consistent. Kind of like McDonald's or Louis Vuitton or Gucci or whatever the case may be. They keep consistent with the same exact colors, the font, so you know that's Gucci. You know
matter
that's
where
Louis
you're in the
Vuitton.
world, you know that's their brand.
Exactly. So that's what graphic designers are. We basically build your brand. Anything like we do billboards, magazines, anything to advertise your brand, we design it. And then web designers, it's more so of like actually building the website. So the front end of there's a back end and a front end of the website. So web designers, they build the front end. So what you see overall, how it looks and feels. So it's similar to graphic design, but not really. It's on the web. And then web developers, they actually build it with coding. And I know coding as well. That's why I went to school for it. So I know HTML and CSS. There's like PHP and JavaScript. I might be like talking crazy, but yeah, there's a lot of coding that goes in it. So like I said, I know HTML and CSS, so I know the front end and a little bit of the back end, building websites. So that's what we do here. And we just started doing app design and development here as well.
Ooh,
yeah.
pressure.
Full service.
Yeah, we try to do that, be that full service. So anything that you need for your business, that's what we do here. So, and we have photography in the back and the podcast booth. Yeah, we got it all.
So with the web development, do y'all also do like the SEO, search engine optimization?
Yep.
So do you think that kind of helped you attract some of those larger clients as well?
So, okay. Like I said, I'm a big believer. I'm a faith believer. So most of my clients I got from word of mouth. Once you do great work, which y'all probably already know, once you do great work, that's the best referral.
That's the best marketing.
Yeah,
thanks.
exactly. And so a lot of people think I'm lying when they be like, how did you get all these clients? I'm like, really? It's because of God and like because of my work. Like there's nothing really to it. I literally just started marketing my business probably last year, and that's due to the co-working. I'm trying to figure it out, like market, like I don't know what I'm doing in this space because this is something new to me. But overall, it's word of mouth, just connections. Like I got Sally Beauty due to someone that I used to go to school with, and she started working at Sally Beauty, and yeah, she just told him about me, showed him my portfolio. Yeah, showed him my portfolio, and that was it. Most of my clients came from word of mouth.
Even Amazon.
Now that's crazy. That's a story to tell.
I was like, I gotta get into the Amazon.
Yeah, everyone wants to ask me like, how did you get Amazon? I was surprised. So I would say that it was dealing with SEO on that. I felt, because I'm actually on the first page on if you look up freelance graphic designers in Dallas, Texas, I'm actually on the first page. And how I did that is just plugging it in the back end where it says like graphic designer in Dallas. And so I've had that up since I graduated. And so I'm on the number one page in Google. But so that's
a big flex. I just want y'all to know that that's a big flex.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's crazy how Amazon she said she don't remember what she typed in, but it had to be graphic designer in Dallas and maybe Black. I don't know. But she reached out to me through my contact form. And at first I thought it was spam. Because I was like, ain't no way Amazon is contacting me through my Gmail account, honestly. I was like, nah. So she was just saying, hey, I want to set up a call. I have a large project, internal project that I would love for you to work on. And so at the time, I had my business. With Amazon, I think they contacted me in 2019. So I already had my business going for 4 years already, 3 or 4 years. And I just kept my main website, my personal website, just stating that it was like a freelance graphic designer because I'm still on the first page. So that's how I got more business through my personal website, but I would direct them to my business website and be like, hey, this is actually a whole business. So yeah, she reached out to me. We just got on the phone. She told me what type of project she wanted, and we've been working ever since. So Yeah, that was a blessing. That was a real
That's
blessing.
dope. And I kind of wanted to get into that with you, like you kind of the workflow of like a project with graphic design, right? Because I feel like a lot of times people they put unrealistic expectations on designers, and they don't really know like how to communicate.
Just make it
with,
cute, and I want it to pop out.
Yeah, like they don't know how to
Yeah.
communicate with y'all. So can you like get into some of the ways that like you kind of bring on clients and how to avoid that as a designer, like getting caught up with those people that saying stuff like Jalen just said, like just make it cuter. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Or make it pop, or can I get a little glitter on that? No. So I have a sheet where it's a questionnaire, so I can really take a deep dive with the client and figure out what they're thinking. Because making it pop, or putting glitter on or whatever, I don't know what that means. And so, like I said, I have like maybe it's like 10 to 15 series of questions, and it really takes a deep dive during the consultation. Like, what colors do you like? How do you want when the person interacts with your brand, how do you want them to feel? So questions like that, and it gives me a better insight of what they're thinking. And then also I ask them to send over inspirational logos. So it's sample logos that gives me a better idea, because I could be thinking one way as a designer, and then the other one, they could be thinking something else. And so, yeah, that's really how I figure out what they really want.
Nah, and that's smart, because a lot of times with us, we've worked with a few graphic designers, and a lot of times they don't have those type of systems in place. But then I also have friends that are a lot of graphic designers, and I hear about how they're frustrated with, oh, she wants me to do this, but this sounds stupid. Like, I don't even understand. But I'm like, how are you communicating to them? How are you asking them to paint their picture to you? Because you got to understand, you're the creative, and there might be a whole different personality type. So they're trying to communicate it the best way that you can. You're just not asking them the right questions.
Yeah, exactly. And then I also started like a 15-minute discovery call, just to make sure that we're the right fit. Because like I said, I'll have people, like I said, with the glitter. I want glitter and like a whole face in my logo and stuff like that. It's just like, we have to kind of see who's the fit and who's not for us. Because I mean, I know that back in the day I used to do like club flyers and stuff like that. And it like now I'm not doing that. That's not our type of work right now. So yeah. So like I said, I do a 15-minute discovery call, or one of my sales rep would do a 15-minute discovery call, just to make sure, like I said, we're the right fit for each other. So
I'm glad you mentioned that discovery call, because like that was another piece I was going to ask you about, being with the, like, in that design space, the brand consulting space. How do you, like, I guess, separate yourself from those types of clients and those types of work? Because like, you whenever you start now, you're just doing whatever you can. Yep. So like, how do you slowly but surely like phase your way away from this? Because like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, they get kind of, hung up on that. Like, oh damn, if I stop doing this, I'm gonna stop having as much work, and now I'm not gonna make as much because I don't do this anymore.
So how do I handle that? So I started raising my prices because the ones that weren't my type of client, they couldn't afford what my what type of services I offer. So like I said, once I seen that, when I increased my prices, I didn't get those, like, I would say like club flyers or glitter logos or something like that. So I would recommend that. I know when I started, I was the same way. I don't know if I'm going to make enough money. I have to take all the projects that I can. But if you think about it, if you take, now I think about quantity over quality. Ultimately, you have to raise your prices and don't worry about how many projects that you can get, because if you charge, I don't know, say usually charge $300 for a logo, but now you're charging, I don't know, $1,000 for a logo, it kind of weighs it out.
You weed out those people who just looking.
I'm sorry, y'all, I know this, like.
No, that's fine. You weed out the people who just like are bargain shopping.
Yeah.
And now they're more, so like there's people who are cost focused, and then there's value focused. So now you're targeting people who are more value focused versus cost focused.
Yep.
I like that. And I kind of want to go into what it did look like going from you being a one-woman show into building an agency, like what does that look like whenever you're actually creating a branding agency? Do you just offer more services, or are you bringing more people on to help with you? I noticed you just said you have a sales rep. Like, what does that process look like?
Yeah. So once, like I said, once I started increasing my prices, I was able to, save more and have a higher profit margin as well. And so I had the opportunity to start hiring on people. So I also started increasing my services. So like I said, we just started doing app design and development, trying that out. And that's a huge profit margin because we do the design in-house and then we send it over to the developers in India. So yeah, it's a really huge profit margin. And so that's what I would tell people is if you want to start hiring on people, I would increase your profit margin at least 30 to 40%. And then also, start increasing like different services that you can offer. We started doing digital marketing this year as well. So we're helping people with social media marketing. We did the design portion, but I was like, let's see if we can like push it a little further. Since COVID happened, a lot of people have been calling us and reaching out to see like what can we do online to market our business. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just throw it in there and see throw that service on our portfolio and see if it sticks or not. And we've been having a lot of people reaching out to us. Like I said, due to COVID, they're just like, okay, I need help with my business. What can I do on social media? What can I do? Because you can't do a lot in person marketing. So yeah, that's what this is trial and error, honestly. So I just started adding services. If I have to take some off, I will. We started doing photography last year. We have an in-house photographer, but she also do like project managing for us. So yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up doing the digital marketing, because we're using words like marketing, advertising, and branding. A lot of times people use those words as though they're interchangeable, but they all actually have different meanings and they all actually do different things. So can you kind of go into like what is the difference between those three, advertising, marketing, and branding? Well, you kind of already explained the branding.
Yeah.
But
so I'm not a huge market expert. That's why I hire people for that. I'm like 70. You went to school for it, right? Yeah. So I would say marketing is more so of like getting your business out there. It can be on digital platforms, but really tapping into your target audience and seeing what they want in return. And then you really learn the psychology and like create personas and focus groups and figure out what can you do to actually get into the minds of your target audience and market to them. So being able to sell to them. Right. And then I feel like advertising is similar, but it's more so of print collaterals and like commercials and web banners and things of that nature, just using what you've gathered from like your focus groups and marketing materials and just transfer it into a different medium. Like I said, like a commercial or a print magazine. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Nah, yeah, you broke it down really well.
Okay.
So definitely appreciate you.
I really want to get into, because you mentioned hiring a photographer and everything. I want to get into CK Creative Desk. So I know you mentioned what year did you launch CK Creative Desk? 2019?
Last year during COVID.
COVID.
It was not. Yeah, we had to close it right down. So.
That's I bet that was a journey
challenge.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned to y'all already, like we are in this amazing co-working space. Like it's
I want to show you all of this.
Like,
check out the B-roll.
Y'all got to check, because it's pressure. But like, okay, so can we get into that? Like, what led you into the Creative Desk co-working space? Like,
so I wanted to create a space for us. I feel like a lot of creatives don't know one another, and I feel like this could be the creative hub. Like we can use each other. Usually when I'm working on a project, if I'm doing the graphic design or my team is doing graphic design or web design, we need a videographer for that particular project, or a photographer, or a motion graphic artist. And so I wanted to create this space where if you become a member, you'll be the first person that I reach out to when I need a motion graphic artist or photographer or something like that. And so it's just building this community and collaborating with one another, where it's similar to a large agency, but we're like a small hub that's acting like a larger agency.
I like that. Like you creating a community of people who can work together. Everybody kind of adds their own thing. Y'all like Voltron in a agency.
Yep. And that too. And I just wanted them to still have their freedom, like creative entrepreneurs. And I felt like, especially us as Black creatives, we don't have that opportunity, like working with Amazon or working with Sally Beauty or whatever, large corporations. So since I already got my feet in the door, I wanted to help other creative entrepreneurs that are maybe been in business for a year or two, that could come in the space. And I'm like, okay, I'm giving you this handout not handout, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm giving you this opportunity where you can work on these certain projects to build your portfolio. So one day you can have a space like mine and have people working underneath you. So yeah, that's my overall idea.
I like that. And I like how you're inviting them into the space and giving them that opportunity. And you're even coming from the mindset of abundance and like growth, because you're like, I want you to get a space just like mine. Like, I don't care. This is not competition.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
Get your own. So I love that that's the type of atmosphere that you're welcoming, because there is a lot of people who like, oh, once you come in here, like, we about to do all of this. But like, the way that I believe in, the way that I think, unless you have something like entrepreneur or some type of endeavor, I don't want you working for me, because I don't think you're going to be as driven and have as much motivation, because you just have that employee mindset.
And that mural, I don't know if y'all are going to show it in the B-roll, but that's what that mural is all about, what you're sitting in front of. I told the designer, she's a local designer named Desiree Valencia, artist. It's called This For You. And I told her what this space is about, and what I'm about is basically leaning on each other, collaborating, supporting one another. I'm telling people to leave your ego and competition at the door. And when you come in this space, we're gonna, act right. We're gonna be family. So that's what that space. So once she designed this, I just bawled. Like it was just perfect. It's beautiful. It's everything that I want this to be. So
that is beautiful.
That's pressure, man. Like, just looking at it, like,
now you get the meaning behind it. It goes so much harder.
I was wondering what it meant. Like, I was thinking of like a lean on me type of thing.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then one of the things I usually don't tell everybody, I'm gonna just let my secret out the bag. So after she got done designing it, she was like, the person in the front is me. As you can see, like her eyes is open. And like, so she's leading everyone to the whole entire vision.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Hey, that is, hey man, I like it. I love it, because that's like so much about what we try to get across with Black Wealth Renaissance. Like, it doesn't have to be a competition. I feel like that's one of the things that was ingrained in us, like from young, like even in school, like this real individualistic, like, oh, it's me against you, or like, but it doesn't have to be that. Whenever we make that change, we flip that switch.
Yep.
That's whenever you can really see greatness happen. Like what y'all got going on here. I love it.
Hell yeah, I love it too, man.
Thank you.
See, man, I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm just taken back.
I know. I see that you're like,
yeah, like, but I like the meaning and the purpose behind it, because like, it really does feel like divine, like you said, like God put all of this together, like the way it just all just comes together, like it's really, really dope. And I kind of want to talk to you whenever you say, you opened up your business, then you had to shut it right back down. So what was that like, getting over that hurdle of COVID? How did you mentally like take on that challenge?
Mentally, so I would say, like I said, I'm a big Facebook. I'm keep throwing it at, but that's what helped me together in this space. Because when I first initially got this space in February, or bought this space, February 28th, and then March, that's when COVID happened. I was like, okay, God did not tell me to get this space and then like it completely, I can't have it anymore. It shut down and like I have to move out. I was like, that's not the reason why. It's sorry, I'm getting all choked up now, but it's I just knew that this was divine and this was by God just overall. And so just praying about it and fasting before I even entered this space, because I was like, he was telling me to get it, but I was like,
You was kind of nervous.
yeah, I was nervous because I was looking at my bank account and I was like, this ain't it. Like, I don't know. The way my bank account is set up, I don't know. But like I said, I prayed and fasted, and he kept saying, I kept seeing the scripture, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. I kept getting like seeing that and hearing that. And like I said, I was doing devotions and I kept hearing that and hearing it through music. And I was like, okay, then I'm actually going in the right path. And every person that walks in here, that's what they say. Like, I've never seen anything like this. I've never heard about anything like this. And so I was like, this is God. This is God. So that's what helped me through this whole COVID situation, because I was like, there's a purpose for this place. And like I said, when people walk in, I've seen people tear up. And I've seen people have there's like, oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. And they're just like, I've never seen anything like this. And it's beautiful. And it's owned by a powerful Black woman. Like, you walk in, and then this other girl was like, it feels like a bowl of gumbo. It's so comforting. So just hearing that, I was like, we needed this. Yeah. Like, we really need. So yeah, that's what motivates me to keep going. Honestly.
And I'm glad you speak on that piece with faith, because I feel like that's something that as entrepreneurs, like we look over. Yeah, like some people look over it, but I think that's such a key part of it.
It's a big
like,
part.
You can't be a person who only relies on like reality if you're an entrepreneur. You got to kind of have a vision outside of whatever is currently going on, whatever your current situation is. Because as you know, like you said, you're looking at your bank account. Like, as an entrepreneur, ain't no checks guaranteed. You got to go make that. So you might be here one day, next day you might be here. Yep. But you just got to continue to have that vision and keep working. So yeah. And I'm trying to see what I wanted to ask with the space. Damn. I lost my train of thought, y'all. It happens sometimes.
This guy here. God damn it. I'm putting the trombones on you.
I think that was the crickets, wasn't it?
It was. How you doing?
You need to label them.
I'm so mad.
Boy. But no.
Oh my God.
Else related to the space. I'm gonna have to let it go. I can't get it back right now. But you had any other questions, Jay?
Not regarding the space. Not regarding the space. I think we covered everything I pretty much wanted to cover.
Sure.
So we can move on into the last section of the podcast called What's on Your Timeline. So it's pretty much anything that you saw that was funny, impactful, silly, like anything. So what's something that you saw on your timeline that you would like to speak about?
I mean, the only thing I could think of is the Derrick Jackson thing, because is on my Facebook page, my Instagram, Twitter, everything. So, yeah. I mean, y'all already know what happened.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I saw something else last night. The guy did a review video to his own video.
You see that? Yeah.
He's a lunatic.
I saw that this morning.
He's a lunatic, man.
He's a freaking lunatic.
And he was doing it from like a third person.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't him?
Yes. Like,
was he on the video or something?
Yes.
Tripping.
And then he has on the caption, I start at 3 minutes, like he usually do. Like, he'll show the video and then he'll be like, I'm starting to talk on 3 minutes. So after 3 minutes, he's like giving his advice on his video. Like,
he's a freaking wacko.
I don't get it, but I know one thing. It just make it, y'all pay attention to who y'all paying attention to on social media. That's all it made me think about. Like, this dude doing all this, like, it's crazy, because we was just like we were telling you before, we were talking about this with Ashley Ann. Like, even though this is bad publicity for him, he's still turning this into something. I bet he still sold some books yesterday.
I was just about to say that.
I bet he still sold some books yesterday. Because everybody, who's this Derrick Jackson cat? Oh, let me buy his book and see what he's talking about. It's like,
or you just type his name in Google and now a book pops up and, oh, okay, let me buy it.
Mm-hmm. And I was reading the comments in Shade Room. Yeah, I'm a Shade Room follower. They were most people, well, not most, but some people were like, "Oh, I never even heard of him. I'm gonna go follow him." Like, they don't even care. Like, yeah,
that's how it goes. Like the internet has such a short attention span. Like 7 days from now, nobody's gonna be talking about this.
No,
not at all.
So he riding on that. He riding on all of this publicity, and it's a shame because I really feel bad for the wife. Just seeing her, like her expression, and
she didn't look too happy.
No,
she just was kind of like
just there.
Well, Cimone, we definitely want to say thank you for once again allowing us in your space, allowing us to come in, interview you. We appreciate you for your expertise, explaining everything that you did. Please let the people know where they can follow you, keep up with you, let them know that, how can they come over here, everything.
Yeah, so for our branding agency, it's our website is ckcreativestudio.com. So if you want to look at our projects and case studies and learn more about the branding agency, you can go there. CK Creative Desk is our co-working. So you can learn more about that, like the shared office space, if you want to rent our whole entire space, the podcast booth, our meeting room that's called the Bayou Conference Room, or even the photography area, you can rent it on there on CK Creative Desk. You can follow us on Cimone Creative Studio or Cimone Creative on Instagram, CK Creative Desk on Instagram, and I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, we have a YouTube channel as well. We have a YouTube channel called Cimone. It's Cimone Creative Studio, but we also have,
make it simple for them.
And then we also have a podcast too. It's called Black Creative Table. So I teach them the successes, the failures, the projects that I worked on. So that's on the YouTube channel as well. I'm trying to think of anything else. We're on Facebook too, Cimone Creative. So yeah, we try to keep it simple and consistent.
Hey, I like it. It's all about that consistency. Yeah,
you're a brand consultant for a reason. You make it easy for them to find you, and people gonna know this CK. I love it. But Cimone, I want to say thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna hop into a couple house clean items before we wrap this thing up. Thank you everybody for listening to the Black Wealth Renaissance podcast week in and week out. Make sure that you leave those 5-star rating and reviews for us. We really love whenever y'all go ahead and share it. We really trying to continue to grow the show. So if you found this valuable, if you know somebody that could benefit from this, please share it with them. Jalen, what you got?
Yeah, you were just talking about those rating and reviews. So I will read our latest review from Ant, formerly known as Rockstar. They are changing the future. I've had the pleasure of knowing these guys, and the gems they drop are priceless. Thank you all. So appreciate you.
Ant.
Yeah, appreciate you, Ant. Definitely y'all sign up for our Patreon if you'd like to hear ad-free versions of our podcast, if you'd like to see some behind the scenes content, if you'd also like to get some of these episodes earlier than everyone else, make sure you sign up for our Patreon, where you'll be able to access all of this great things. You'll be able to get exclusive content before it comes out. So not just podcast episode, you also be able to get exclusive coupons and things to our online store. Make sure you sign up for our Patreon.
Yeah. And on that note, y'all, this is Black Wealth Renaissance signing out.
Peace.
I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.